that time was close to the one of Italy. The Russian military situation was not that bad because Russia was changing the army, reforming the army, and the ships were built and so on, but the plan was arranged up to year 1917, and that's why Russia did everything to prevent the war started at 1914. It is known that the actual cause of event was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo with his wife by the Serbian revolutionary student. And Austria declared war to Serbia, and Russia, which, as I've mentioned, had very close relations with Slavic people in the Balkans, had to defend Serbia with diplomatic means, at least, and it did. At the same time, you'll see the Russian ambassador Izvolsky. He was blamed by Austrian and German authorities to be involved in this assassination, though till nowadays it is not proved. All that Izvolsky knew that something is happening because Serbia at that time had an idea to unite all the Balkan countries into a great Serbia. But there are not any facts which would prove the Russian ambassador involvement in this case. And Russia thought that if it starts some mobilization, it would prevent Austria from starting the war. The thing was that it couldn't start the partial mobilization, and it had to begin with the general mobilization at that time, because Austria was supported by Germany. As Russia hadn't completed the rearmament which began after 1905, the Russian officials and Russian government realized clearly that the army's loyalty was a crucial factor during the events of 1905 and saved monarchy at that time, but the new war would ruin the whole state of events and the whole structure of Russian society. And it is known that Nicholas II didn't wish to declare this general mobilization. So in this documentary, definitely it is presented the way that Nicholas just followed the events. It is, in fact, when Nicholas was asked by military people in Russia to begin this mobilization, and he had this plan of mobilization before him on the desk. He just binned it, because when he imagined that he would order people to go to death, he psychologically just could not sign it. And instead he telegraphed his cousin, the German Kaiser Wilhelm II, and proposed to submit the Austro-Serbian controversy to the Hague Court of International Arbitration, which was founded at the very end of the 19th century. The German Kaiser's answer was nonsense, and only after that, and after the exchange of some more telegrams, Nicholas II didn't have any further chance but to sign this plan of general mobilization. While you are watching the shots of the events and scenes of the First World War, I will comment on what was happening in the Russian political scene at this time. During the First Russian Revolution, the Tsar, Nicholas II, issued a manifesto of October 17. And this manifesto actually was arranged in a way to begin the process of establishing the constitutional monarchy. I quote, "We impose on the duty of the government the execution of our unchangeable will. First, to grant the population unshakable foundation of civil freedom, on the principles of a real inviolability of person, freedom of conscience, speech, meetings and associations." And it was followed by the paragraph, "to establish as an unchangeable principle that no law can obtain force without the consent of the State Duma, and that to be elected of the people there should be guaranteed the possibility of actual participation in supervision of the legality of the actions of the authorities appointed by us." And this manifest of 17th of October put a good foundation for constitutional development. And few parties appeared at that time. The most popular was Constitutional Democratic Party, or it was also called Party of the People's Freedom. The leader of this party was Milyukov. Sometimes this party was also called the Professors' Party, because the top staff of this party involved a lot of professors. And Milyukov himself was a very famous professor of history. And by the way, one of the leaders of this party was the father of a very famous Russian and American writer, Vladimir Nabokov. This party enjoyed great popularity, especially in 1905. They were liberals. They are called cadets because KD stands for the title of the party, Constitutional Democrats. One of the leading cadets, Prince Shakhovskoy, expressed the program of Russian liberals in the following words. Freedom, as a genuine and universal principle of politics, is the freedom of all and not only of some. The democratic principle is the logical and moral consequence of the liberal program, and however unclear the distant prospects of democracy, we must say we accept the consequences together with the foundation. In the development of Russian liberalism, the democratic tendency is both a firm historical tradition and an urgent practical necessity. Any liberalism other than a democratic one would lack the soil in Russian society and would not find a response. This party later lost its popularity. However, at the beginning of 1917 it obtained the popularity and enjoyed the